Greetings and welcome to Hellsing's A+ lecture series. This series will include about 4 videos. In today's video, we're going to teach you how to graduate from university or college with a job already. So after you graduate, you can already walk into the office and you'll be set. Instead of thinking, oh my gosh, now that I graduated, what am I going to do? Help me please, somebody! Because that sucks. Now, here's the big problem that I've seen with many intelligent students. They go to school, they study, they do the work, and then after they graduate, they say, okay, now I'm gonna look for a job. And then they go to the job, say, well, we want someone with at least 2 years experience. And the students say, how can I get experience if I don't have a job? And that's doesn't make sense to me. Now, here, I'm going to give you a formula, some action steps actually, to stop that from happening and to get what you want to get, do, and be, all right? So brace with me, we're going to make this happen. I wrote it down because it's very specific and I want you to make sure you have these tools in hand. All right, so number 1 should be common sense. Ooh, did you hear that? It was like crack, crack, crack. Number 1, this should be common sense. Decide what you want to do. Decide what field you want to work in, okay? Decide what your specialty is going to be, what the thing is that you want. When I was back in uni, I chose genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is amazing. I love it. It's so awesome. I think I might return back to genetic engineering actually. The genes keep calling me. In any case, for you, think about what do you want to do specifically. Do you want to be an engineer? What type of engineer? Do you want to be a designer? What type of designer? Do you want to be, I don't know, a doctor? What type of doctor? Know what you want to be specifically, okay? Get down to the pinpoint what it is exactly. Because when you know exactly what you want to do, you can do it more easily. Next, when you're already in uni or college, join organizations that specialize in that area of what you want. Case in point, if your area is HR, human resources, you want to join SHRM. That's like the human resource management group, like nationwide, at least in the US. I think they might be worldwide, but I'm not totally sure. So find out whatever organizations, professional organizations, special organizations work in your field. Whether they're affiliated or not with your school or university, join those organizations. The connections you make can save you time and money, okay? Also, look for those organizations within your school that are also associated with that trade or field or area, whatever it is. Case in point, maybe you want to do genetic engineering. Look at what science clubs are in your school. Maybe you want to do AI technology. Look at what AI groups or clubs are in your school. Usually, the professors, if they're really good at what they do and they really enjoy it, they want to be surrounded by a bunch of young people who also do it. So the leading professors might have a club or organization that they're specializing in that's actually holding meetings and stuff on a regular basis. You want to go there and you want to learn every time. And whatever you learn, apply it immediately, okay? Apply it. My mom, she gave me a formula. She was like, Hellsing, well, she didn't call me Hellsing back then, but now, Hellsing, you're taking all these high-level genetics classes and stuff. What you need to do is take at least 1 class to balance out the stress and the fun. Take 1 class you very enjoy. And I said, a class I enjoy? They have those in college? I'm joking. And so she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I took Chinese. It's important to take a class you enjoy because you want to get some pleasure and fun out of the uni experience. Now, theoretically, hopefully, the area that you're studying is something you enjoy because you're going to be working in that area for a long time, preferably as an entrepreneur and or business owner. Though right now we're looking at the employee route, okay? Though the steps I'm giving you not only work for an employee, but will also work for an entrepreneur. Just follow along, all right? Next, after you've chosen your area, your field, you've joined the clubs and organizations that specialize in your field, talk to your professor and ask if there are any positions open in school, okay? One little side note, one way a lot of international students go to school for free in America is they get a job working as a teacher's assistant, a TA, teacher's assistant, or some other capacity with the school. If you work for the school, you, one, get free tuition, and two, you get paid. So imagine getting paid to go to school. So whatever scholarships you're getting, that comes in and it goes straight to your pocket. So talk to your professor about any assistantships that are available, okay? If there aren't any available, sometimes professors will say, hey, we don't have an official assistantship available, but I need assistance with these things. Work with me directly and I'll help you get free books or free software, something like that. Now, I'm going to give this to you now in this lecture. A way to get free books and or software sometimes is, like I just said, working directly with your professor. A lot of companies will send your professors books and they'll say, hey, professor, check this book out, evaluate it, and tell us what you think. If you like it, buy it. And the professor will have a stack of books, and sometimes they're relating to the subject you're actually studying or the term you're studying. It's like a newer edition. Talk to the professor, and sometimes the professor will ask you, if you are there, because being visible matters, to review the book. The professor will say, hey, tell you what, review these books for me. I'll let you keep one of the books for our current class. So you get a free book. All you do is a little legwork, study some other books, and you're learning. And you're practicing the art of reviewing books, which actually people get paid for. And you're developing a relationship with your professor, which is good. These are all good things. Now, if you want free software, back when I was in the genetics lab, here's something I did. In the genetics lab, what was our lab? We specialized in molecular parasitology. It sounds like, but it's actually cool and creepy and weird and scary, but amazing. So we use this software, this genetic engineering software. We were developing plasmids, right? So a plasmid is basically circular DNA that bacteria use. We're going to insert this in a T. brucei. Long story, you don't want to know. Or maybe you do. In any case, the software that we needed cost like $300. And I was like, you want me to pay $300 to use this software? And they're like, no, just use it in the lab. And I'm like, so I gotta stay in the lab all the time to use this software? I like my freedom. So, here's what I did. Because it has something called a brain, I contacted the company and said, hey, here's the situation, guys. I'm a student working in a genetics lab and we use your software. Your software costs $300. Yeah, that's not student friendly. How about this? How about I work for your company as a beta tester, so I test your products in exchange for you giving me just one license to use this software for free. What do you think? And the company said, hey, that's a good idea. Freaking awesome. So they got a real live student beta tester, me, to beta test it. And I got the software for free. Okay? So that's a way you can get your software for free. So now, next, going down the line, if there is a specialist on campus, someone who deeply specializes in that area that you want to study, like maybe, for instance, you want to be a scientist, genetic engineer, and you're taking your bio 304, whatever classes, right? And there's a professor on campus who studies the birth, reproduction strategies of some frog that's about to go extinct. And that's what you actually like. You want to study something in that area, but you're not taking that person's classes. And that professor is like, I don't know, in graduate level as opposed to undergrad level or a level higher than yours. What you can do is find that professor, Read their latest 3 or 4 papers. Read it. You don't have to understand all of it. Just read it, okay? And go to that professor and say, hello, professor, I am blah, 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 an undergrad or grad, whatever your area, and explain to them what your main purpose is and that you want to work in their lab and assist them in meeting their goal and developing whatever it is they want to do. You're offering your help and assistance for free 99. A paid position is better, but you're willing to do it for free, okay? And while you're talking to them, you want to reference the previous articles that they wrote. Why? Because people like to know that things they wrote were actually read by other people, all right? You want to comment on some of the things that they did and say, wow, this is cool, I don't understand this. Don't suck up, be honest. People know when you're sucking up, don't do it, all right? Next, after you do that, and they'll most likely agree to letting you come into the lab. Now, if they don't, or whatever area it is you want to work in. So, if they don't right off the bat, then be persistent. Come back the next week, say, hello, professor, do you have any positions available, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yes, no, well, find out. If they say no again, we'll come back the next week and say, hey, professor, I was looking at this article, did you find out about this? Oh, sometimes professors, especially older professors, no offense, guys, they don't really know how to use things like Excel, all right? But they use it in their class. So what you can do is, if you're good at Excel, you can tell them you're good at Excel and you'll help them make the Excel programs for their class, okay? This is amazing with professors that use like statistics and stuff. If you can show the professor how to use an Excel program to basically simplify the things that they're going to teach their kids, they're going to slightly become dependent on you and start delegating more things to you. When they start delegating these things to you, you're making a niche for yourself in the office. They're going to start looking out for you, okay? So you might get a paid position well, you're definitely getting more experience. This is all stuff you can put on your resume. And these professors know people who know people who know people. High-level people stick together. So they can actually assist you in getting a job while you're in college, so when you graduate, you'll already have a landing pad, okay? Now, while you're in college or uni, while you're there, you want to start building your LinkedIn profile. And you actually want to start building your professors because they probably don't have one, okay? When you're building your LinkedIn profile, you want to list any clubs that you're in, any relevant classes that you're doing. There's actually a strategy. There's a deep strategy to making a stellar, awesome LinkedIn profile. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, though. Go to LinkedIn, Google it. There are people who offer services. There's a way you want to make your LinkedIn amazing. Something I recommend is having, aside from a professional one, not one where you're like, hey guys, but you want a real one, okay? You want a real photo, a professional one, where you look good and it's clear. You want to list clubs or organizations that you're in. You want to list positions of leadership. If you're listing your resume or things of that nature, you want to list how you came into the position and what you did to lift the position up, what you provided, what change you brought to the position. If you don't have that yet, then you can just say, I'm working as a blah, blah, and my daily tasks or goals are blah, blah, blah. Once again, making a proper LinkedIn profile, that's a whole nother gamut. So we'll look at that later, though that's also very important when it comes to getting a job after or during college. Or Google it. I don't like saying Google it, but Google it. Though something that actually helps when you're doing LinkedIn, we're going to go into it now. We're going into it. Okay, so you want to make a proper LinkedIn profile. So after you make a profile, you want to upload a picture of yourself. You want to give yourself a brief introduction, state your vision, your dream, what it is you want to do, and you want to start connecting with the organizations that are in your field. You want to start connecting with the people that are in your field. Find out who is the best. Start from the top and work down. Top down, not bottom to top, top down. Who is the best person or persons in your field in the world, all right? So go from world, then down to your country, then down to your province, then down to your state, then down to your city, okay? And then down to your company or school, whatever. You want to know who all these top level people are, and you want to connect with them, okay? Find out who they are, find out what they've accomplished, connect with them. Next, on your LinkedIn page, you want to start sharing information and ideas and posts that specialize in your field. Case in point, if you're a molecular parasitologist, you want to upload or post the latest Nature articles about molecular parasitology. If you are an interior designer, you want to post the latest new design fads or the latest new design contest. You want to make your LinkedIn the place to be, to go for information for you and people who want to be in your field, okay? You want to position yourself as someone who actually knows what they're doing. Next, whatever accomplishments you have in this field, you want to post it on your LinkedIn. You also want to do continual learning from sites like Udemy.com, FutureLearn.com, Khan's Academy. I don't know Khan's Academy specifically because I haven't really used it, though I heard it's good. Teachable, amazing. So you want to continue your education outside and list that on your LinkedIn. You also want to find the top companies in your area, okay? Find the top companies who are operating in your field, in your area, be it in your city, be it in the world. Connect with them. Tell them who you are, what your plan is, and how you want to work with them, okay? And you want to work with them now, not when you graduate. You want a job working now. Be willing to work for free. Ask to get paid, though be willing to work for free, okay? And if possible, if applicable, in your city, if there's a position in such a company, go there, take that position. If there's not a position, go to the company and make a position. Say, here's what I can do, here's what I know, here's what I want, here's what I can give you guys, here's what I can provide for the company. Do that. If they say no, keep going back, okay? Be persistent. Be extremely persistent. For every no they say, come back with a, how about this, okay? Being persistent is something I definitely want to say keep doing. However, when it comes to humans or people or relationships, being too persistent can be a bad thing. So just remember that. So for all my A types out there, or my D types from the DISC assessment, being extremely persistent with a goal is amazing. Being extremely persistent towards a person might be a little dangerous. Okay, so now, going forward, at some point the company's gonna say yes. They're gonna welcome you in. You're gonna get in there. When you get in there, you have a chance, all right? You have a chance to rock out and go stellar. You're going to get there early, all right? Now, mind you, you're balancing your classes and your work life, all right? So the company is going to accept you. When they do, they're most likely going to accept you. And when they do, you get in there, you rock out, you arrive early, you do your job and beyond. Do everything you need to do and more. Look at different ways you can assist other people in doing the work that they're doing, okay? And as you're doing this, you're showing the company that you're someone who wants to grow. Companies that grow like people who like to grow, okay? You want to do this and you want to show them how you are elevating. Also, do research on your position. Stay in the know. You want to stay in the front lines of whatever it is you do, okay? So if you're a designer, you want to stay on the front lines of the designs coming out. If you are a lawyer or into law, you want to stay on the front lines of people who are changing laws and making laws. Know who they are. Know them by name. Also, know the names of the people that you work with, okay? Pro tip, know their names, know their birthdays. When the birthdays come, get them a birthday card and a Starbucks gift card. Everybody likes Starbucks, right? Except Graham. Get him an iced coffee mug. Yeah, he'll like that. I think. Now, what else? So you're there, you're in the company, you know all the names, you're arriving early, you're doing the work, you're working fast, you're not complaining, You know who the CEO is, attend meetings, all right? I know it might be boring. You might be like, oh, why am I here? What is this about? Attend as many meetings as you can, okay? Know who the CEO is. Sit close to the CEO. Sit next to the brother or sister. And when they say, does anyone have any questions? Raise your hand and ask a question. I was working at a company this one time. What was it? I don't remember the name of the company. It was, not going to say the name of the company. So I was working at this company and we had a meeting with the CEO and he's sitting maybe 2 or 3 heads to my left. It was a small room actually. Maybe he was sitting next to me. I don't remember. But in any case, handsome guy. He looked like a T-Rex. Like, I am powerful. It was interesting. So he asked if anyone had any questions. Everybody in the room was like, and I'm like, guys, I got a question. And everyone's like, oh, he has a question. It was very strange. I guess in American culture, when the CEO says, do you have any questions, they don't actually expect people to ask questions. It's very weird. But I asked the question because he asked if we had any questions. And after I did that, later he was like, who is this young man? What does he do? And my manager was like, he's blah, blah, blah. And the CEO's like, we need to get him a better title. Yes. So you want to be there. You want to be seen. You want to be noticed. Get there early, do your job, and learn the duties of the next 2 jobs above you, okay? So if something happens, if the person that you're working with or for whatever reason isn't able to make it, or they come in late, or maybe they're like super sick, and the company needs that work done, you know how to do it. So you get in there and you do the work. You bust it out. You make it happen, okay? Awesome. So now, what? Really? Okay, so we're going back. We're going to go backwards a little bit because I got some people saying, they're like, hey man, wait. I just walked into this lecture and like, how do we even get the job if you don't have the job? And what do we do? Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Going back a little bit. You're in college. You've chosen your major. You've joined professional organizations in your field. You've paid for the membership if there's a fee. You've joined clubs in your field, or if there aren't any clubs, you're starting a club. And don't say you don't have time for this, because you do. If you have time to look on your phone and goof off on Facebook, you have time to build your future life, okay? Now you're gonna work in this club and organization, and you're going to apply for leadership roles. You need experience as a leader and working with bureaucratic phenomena that happens in human cultures. It'll help you, trust me. So now you're in the club, organization, you're applying for leadership roles, you're working with the head, the highest level person in your field, in your university, you're working next to them, you're all working with your teacher, hopefully that person is your teacher, they're working with their teacher, they're giving you free books and or a paid position, your school is paid for now that you're working with the college, you're doing beta work for the company that makes the software that you need, so you get the software for free, you are you made a LinkedIn profile and you're connecting with other leaders in your area, okay? In the world actually, you're connecting with the leaders in your field. So now, from there, you're connecting with the top companies in your field. And people are gonna start noticing you, all right? They're gonna look for people to hire, and when they see that you are connected with so-and-so from whatever field, they're gonna say, oh, this person knows people. Oh, pro tip. So on LinkedIn, when you go there, when you want to make connections, okay? So during your, during your lunchtime, you want to take a minute, sit down rather, go to LinkedIn and find other people who work in your area. Send them friend requests. Preferably people with a nice little note. So send them a friend request. You want to send at least 100 a day. all right? You want to get your numbers up. That helps. It helps because you start to meet more people, you connect with more people, and I think having a big database of people is a good thing, preferably. But I've seen some other high hitters, they have like a few hundred, sometimes less, and I'm like, that's very specific. Okay. Now, you're applying to work with the different companies. You're working there you're going to apply to work there either physically or what do you call it? Online, over the internet. And you are pushing the envelope higher. You're doing more, okay? I believe those are all the main steps that I can give you to get you to a stellar point. So now, when you graduate, you will already have a paid position waiting for you, all right? In the midst of your working with a company, you're going to start negotiating as you get closer to graduation, a paid position with them. And because you've added so much value, they know what you can do and they know how good you're going to be at it. So you're going to get more and do more. And this is very important. Lastly, some people out there, I'm not going to point fingers at anybody. Some people out there, they might say, Mr. Hellsing, that's a lot of work. I'd rather just wait and sit back and do all that work when I graduate. Well, it's a lot of work, and that work kind of raises the bar, and all those people who are graduating are going to be like an ocean of people. And imagine, when that ocean of thousands of students graduates, you'll be one of the few who's already at the top of the pile, the creme de la creme, because you put in the work and you've got the experience. So is it worth it? Well, 4 years from now, when you graduate, it'll be extremely worth it, because you'll graduate with money. You'll graduate with a job. You'll graduate with experience. You'll graduate with connections. You'll graduate as part of the club, you know? You won't be like, hey, please, someone hire me. I'm a young and inexperienced student. Someone please give me a job. That won't be you. You'll be like, yo, I've been working in this field for 4 years. I know exactly what to do. I know who the top leaders are. In fact, I'm one of them. And you can write your own, well, you'll eventually be able to write your own ticket, eventually. Okay, I think that helps. That should be it. I know it's a bit of a long video, though I made this because I want you to win. I want you to succeed, okay? Lastly, quick other side note, scholarships, loans, tuition. Okay, I already mentioned earlier, if you work with the schools, at least in America, if you work with the school in some capacities, they sometimes offer to pay your schooling for free. Like at the institute I went to, if you worked there, I think even as a secretary, your first 12 credits were free. And then at school, at that school anyway, maybe it's every school, if you register for 12 credits, anything above that is free, okay? So even if you're paying for college out of your own pocket or with your student loans and stuff, anything above 12 credits, 12 to 18 credits is free. So in a way, if you're willing to do the work, you can save thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? And time. Time is your second most valuable resource. I think you have like 3 extremely valuable resources. 1, your connection actually with the spirit. 2, your brain, all right? Your brain is extremely valuable. 3, time. And then 4, your friends, your family, all the good stuff. Okay, so when it comes to money, when it comes to student loans, I want to say this. Don't get student loans. If you gotta live on your mom's couch, live on your mom's couch. The hot girls can wait, the parties can wait, the looking like you're balling can wait. What you want to do is you want to put first things first. And like I said before, there are some people out there who are going to be like, I don't want to do all that work. Well, good. That's one less person you got to worry about. Because truth is, at the top, there's not a lot of competition. At the bottom, there's a whole lot of competition. But you do these steps I told you, you'll be at the top and you'll be like, the air smells so much better up here. And trust me, it does. If you do want to take a risk, now that's illegal, so I shouldn't say that. Not going to say that. I'm not saying you should do this. What I will say is, there's a guy who didn't need student loans, but he took out the student loans because they had like a 1-2% APY. And he took those student loans and he invested those student loans into the stock market. And his return was much higher than 1 or 2% APY. So when he would get paid in dividends and stuff, or when he sold stock, from that he would pay back his student loans. So when the guy graduated, because he has a lot of dividend paying stocks, now the student loans are paid off in full and he has assets that are paying him cash every month. So there are ways to use the system instead of being used by the system. Okay, but I'm not saying you should do that, because I do believe it is illegal to use student loans for purposes other than school if that's in the contract. Read the contract always. Okay, that's it. Any questions? Put them below. Like if you like it. If you don't like it, tell me why. And I hope these steps are useful to you. They're extremely useful to me. They made life better and easier and more fun. Though I learned some of these the hard way. So learn from my mistakes. You don't want to make the mistakes I made. Not everybody can recover as smoothly as I, yes. Okay, thank you for watching and have a beautiful day.